Taking action when life is tough, when you're at your lowest point, is one of the hardest things to do. But it's also the most crucial. When you're going through hell, when you're feeling broken, lost, and overwhelmed, the idea of taking even one step forward can seem impossible. It feels counterintuitive to act when you're hurting, like you should wait for the storm to pass, for things to settle down. But here's the reality: waiting won't save you. Waiting only prolongs the pain. The way out is through action. You have to move even when it hurts. Think about this for a moment. How many times in your life have you put things off because you were too tired, too stressed, too overwhelmed? We've all been there. You tell yourself, I'll start when I feel better, or I'll take action when things calm down. But what happens? Time passes and you're still stuck. Nothing changes because you didn't change. You didn't take the steps that could have pulled you out of that hole. The truth is, waiting for the pain to go away before you act is like standing in the rain and hoping it stops before you leave the house. Life doesn't work like that. The rain might not stop for a long time, and if you just stand there waiting, you'll get soaked. But if you put on a jacket and step outside, you can keep moving despite the weather. You don't have to like the rain, you don't have to feel comfortable. You just have to keep going. Taking action when it hurts is not about being a superhero. It's not about pretending that everything is okay or ignoring your pain. It's about acknowledging the pain, facing it, and deciding to move forward anyway. Because here's the thing: action is the antidote to suffering. When you take action, no matter how small, you begin to reclaim your power. You remind yourself that you're not helpless, that you have control over your life, even if it doesn't feel like it at the moment. When you're hurting, your mind will try to convince you that doing nothing is the safest option. It will tell you to wait until you're more motivated, more confident, or less afraid. It's a defense mechanism, a way of protecting you from further discomfort. But this kind of thinking is a trap. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of avoidance, and the longer you avoid action, the worse things get. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Think about a time when you were struggling. Maybe you were going through a breakup, grieving a loss, or dealing with a setback at work. What happened when you chose not to act? Did things magically improve, or did the pain linger? Now think about a time when you were in pain, but you decided to take action anyway. Maybe you forced yourself to get out of bed, go to work, or have a difficult conversation. How did that feel? Chances are, even though it was hard, you felt a sense of relief afterward, because the act of doing something, anything, is empowering. When you take action in the face of pain, it doesn't have to be a grand gesture. You don't need to overhaul your entire life in one day. In fact, the smaller the action, the better. It could be as simple as getting up and taking a shower, sending an email, or going for a walk. The point is to start moving, to create momentum. Once you take that first step, no matter how small, the next step becomes easier. And then the next. Before you know it, you're moving through the pain instead of letting it hold you hostage. There's a concept in psychology called behavior activation, which is the idea that action can lead to improved emotional states. Essentially, when you're feeling down or overwhelmed, your instinct might be to shut down and do nothing. But if you force yourself to take even the smallest action, it can lift your mood and give you a sense of accomplishment, which then encourages you to keep going. It's like a positive feedback loop. Action creates progress, and progress fuels more action. But let's be real. Taking action when you're in pain isn't glamorous. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. You're going to have moments where you want to give up, where it feels like you're walking through quicksand. That's normal. But the key is to remind yourself that the discomfort is temporary. The pain you're feeling now won't last forever. But the longer you wait to act, the longer that pain lingers. Action is what will eventually pull you out of it. One of the biggest myths about success and overcoming adversity is that the people who make it through are somehow stronger, more resilient, or more capable than the rest of us. But that's not true. The difference between those who move forward and those who stay stuck is not their strength or intelligence, it's their willingness to act, even when they don't feel ready. They take that step, even when they're scared, tired, or hurting. And because of that, they build momentum. They create change in their lives. The beauty of taking action when it hurts is that you start to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. You build confidence not by waiting for the pain to go away, but by facing it head on and moving through it. Every time you take action, you're strengthening that muscle. You're teaching yourself that you can handle whatever life throws your way, even when it feels unbearable. So the next time you're in a difficult spot, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical pain, don't wait for the right moment to start. Don't wait for the pain to subside or for your energy to return. Take one small action. Make one small move. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's something that moves you forward. because when you take action, even when it hurts, you're reclaiming your power. You're taking control of your life. And that is how you make it through hell one step at a time. Life has a way of testing us when we least expect it. The hardest times often come when we're least prepared, and they can knock us off our feet, leaving us disoriented and overwhelmed. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, the end of a relationship, a financial crisis, or a health scare, these moments of deep struggle feel unbearable. But as hard as they are, they hold a secret that many don't realize until they've come out the other side. The hardest times are where you find your greatest strength. It's in these moments of pain and adversity that you discover what you're truly capable of. When life feels like it's falling apart and you're at your lowest, that's when your inner strength begins to emerge. The thing about strength is that it doesn't show up when everything is going smoothly. It doesn't develop when you're in your comfort zone, doing the same things day after day. Strength is forged in the fire of hardship. It grows in the face of challenge. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that strength is something you're born with, that some people are just naturally tougher than others. But that's not true. Strength is something that you develop over time, and it's often through life's most painful experiences that this strength is revealed. Think about the people you admire, those who have faced unimaginable challenges and yet managed to rise above them. They weren't born with a special gift of resilience. They became strong because they went through hard times and they refused to give up. When you're in the middle of a difficult situation, it's easy to feel like you're being broken down, like life is too hard and you're not going to make it through. But here's the thing, those feelings of being broken, of being pushed to your limit, are actually the signs that you're growing. Just like muscles get stronger by being stretched and torn during a workout, your character and resilience are strengthened when you go through tough times. You're being shaped and molded into a stronger version of yourself. There's a reason why we remember the most difficult periods of our lives so vividly. It's because those are the times when we learn the most about who we are and what we're capable of. When everything is easy, there's nothing pushing us to grow or to evolve. But when things get hard, when we're faced with challenges that seem impossible, that's when we dig deep and find a strength we didn't even know we had. It's in the darkest moments that we find our light. Think about a seed planted deep in the ground. It's buried in the dark, cold soil with no sign of light. But despite its conditions, it pushes through the earth, searching for the sun, growing stronger with each inch it moves upward. That's exactly what happens during the hardest times in our lives. We're in the dark, struggling to find our way, but every step forward brings us closer to our strength and to the person we're meant to become. The hardest times often teach us things we wouldn't have learned any other way. They show us the depths of our resilience, our ability to endure, and our capacity for hope. When life is easy, we don't need to rely on these qualities. But when things get tough, that's when they come to the surface. You learn that you can handle far more than you ever thought possible. You learn that even when you feel like giving up, you can find the strength to keep going. And most importantly, you learn that you're far stronger than you ever realized. It's not just about surviving the hard times, it's about using them as a foundation for growth. The most resilient people are the ones who take their pain and turn it into fuel. They don't just endure their hardships, they use them to propel themselves forward, to create a life that's even better than before. This doesn't mean the pain goes away or that the challenges become easy, but it means that they refuse to let those hard times define them in a negative way. Instead, they let the struggle make them stronger, more compassionate, and more determined. There's another reason why the hardest times are where you find your greatest strength, and it's this: adversity strips away everything that doesn't matter. When you're going through a crisis, your priorities become clear. You stop worrying about the small, trivial things, and you focus on what's truly important. In the process, you gain clarity and perspective that you didn't have before. You realize what matters most to you, and you begin to build your life around those things. In these moments, you also find out who your true supporters are. The people who stick by you in your darkest times, who offer a helping hand or a listening ear, are the ones who will help you find your strength. They remind you that you're not alone and that together you can get through anything. And on the flip side, the people who disappear or criticize you during your struggles reveal themselves as those who were never truly supportive to begin with. It's a painful realization, but it's one that helps you surround yourself with the right people moving forward. As you go through life, you will face more challenges, more obstacles, and more hardships. That's just a part of being human. But the next time you find yourself in one of those tough moments, I want you to remember this: you've been through hard times before, and you've come out stronger because of them. You've already proven to yourself that you have the strength to endure. And every time you face a new challenge, you're given an opportunity to grow even stronger. So when you're in the thick of it, when life feels impossible and the pain seems unbearable, remind yourself that this is where your strength is being built. This is where you are becoming the person you're meant to be. You may not see it right away, but on the other side of this hardship is a version of you that is wiser, stronger, and more resilient than ever before. And that's the gift of going through hard times. It reveals the strength you didn't know you had all along.